Hi folks, this is Jason Moore here with MTGOacademy.com, and I'd like to welcome you to the latest installment of Dime a Dozen. Alright, so control decks in Pauper are really in a weird place right now. Peregrine Drake is just making it weird for everybody. The reason Peregrine Drake is making it weird is because if you can't kill them or kill your opponent very fast, you just lose. And so if you're not playing Peregrine Drake combo, you need to be playing something that can kill people fast, or you just lose. Mono Black Control can't kill people fast. It's out of here. Because the Jeskai cannot kill people fast. It's out of here. So the challenge for me as a deck builder and as a control mage on most of my days is to try and create a control deck that not only interacts with the fast killing decks but also can kill quickly. And one of the best ways to finish people quickly is with Gurmag Angler, attacking them for 5 damage a turn and trying to get there that way. So this deck is is really a black-red and a slight green splash control deck. It's a Gurmag Angler and a bunch of other card advantage mixed in with some inevitability life gain and some of the best removal in the format type of control deck. We're trying to interact with the blitzing, blazing fast decks and also be somewhat quick to close things out ourselves because we attack for 5 and we burn people. So the things that really coincide with Angler are going to be our 6 fetch lands. Our mana base is 3 Terramorphic Expanse, 3 Evolving Wilds. Then we've got Bloodfell Caves as our best duel. We've also got Mortuary Mire as our singleton utility land. Then we've got an even split of basics between black and red, and our single forest, which we can tutor up with the Evolving Wilds. We're also using Prophetic Prism here to fix our colors as well. So the green splash, what are we doing with that? I mean, obviously we're a control deck. Like I said, we want to play some of the best removal in the format early, and then gain advantages, use some card advantage in the mid game, and hopefully get an Angler or 2 down as quickly as possible. Beat them down, burn them out. So why green, though? Green doesn't need to really factor into that. Well, the main reason I actually want to play green is because of Ancient Grudge. Kaladesh was just released, and I'm expecting people to be playing with Gear Seeker and with the vehicles and really just thinking about different ways they can make affinity better. And I think Ancient Grudge is a sideboard card whose stock is going to rise by quite a high margin. So I want access to it. So the green splash gives us that. What does the green splash also allow us to do? It allows us to offset Night's Whisper. If we're going to play a control deck without blue, the main reason that is even possible is because we have a draw 2 for 2 mana available to us. So if black is your main card draw color, you're going to be spending some life for that. And so to offset the Night's Whisper and Phyrexian Rager in our draw suite, we're playing Pulse of Marasa. Okay, Angler is well positioned now, not just because it kills fast, but because it's really a Lightning Bolt style format right now where the removal is either Lightning Bolt-esque or it's basically nothing. It's basically I'm playing a hexproof deck or I'm playing an Elves deck, and my plan is not to remove anything, it's just to kill fast so that I don't have to remove anything. So Angler ends up surviving a lot of the spot removal that's out there. If they do find a way to kill Angler or counter it, Pulse of Marasa can get it back. So that's kind of what we want to do with green. It also opens up a little bit more of our sideboard. But just to basically fill you in on everything, our removal at 1 mana is Lightning Bolt and Flame Slash, which I think are 2 of the best 1 mana removal spells. Certainly if not these, it's some other red spell. The red removal is the best in the format at 1 mana. We even have Magma Spray in the sideboard if we need it against Stormbound Geist and other types of Undying, Young Wolf, these cards come back from the graveyard type threats. We still have that covered. We're playing some of the best 2 mana removal as well, Chainer's Edict. Most decks that are better, that beat Lightning Bolt, don't beat Chainer's Edict. So Hexproof creatures, Nivix Cyclops, a Tog, Mirror Enforcer, all of these cards die to Chainer's Edict, and all their contingencies for removal, like Apostle's Blessing and Dispel, don't account for Chainer's Edict. So we've got the best 1 mana removal, we got the best 2 mana removal. Then we've got some other disruption. So I want to be able to deal not just with creatures, but with other control decks, other combo decks, or not other combo decks, but any combo deck. So we're playing Duress and Augur of Skulls with a 4th Augur of Skulls in the sideboard to really hopefully mess up people's game plans. And we've got some Unearth to bring back the Augurs or bring back the Phyrexian Ragers, or just to cycle through our deck. Everything else is just value spells. Night's Whisper, Prophetic Prism, fixes our colors. We don't have a way to bounce it, and I think that might actually be a problem with this deck. I'll get into that after the matches are done. We even have the inevitability package of Pristine Talisman and Evankar's Justice. With an additional Justice in the board, I think maybe we need more, because again, a lot of these decks want to kill fast, and for many of the decks, they want to swarm the board, and we may need to sweep the board. Alright, sideboarding real fast. I mentioned the Magma Spray. Got Pyroblast. Only 2, because I think we actually should be decent against some of these blue decks. We've got Augur of Skulls, Duress. We've got ways to bring back our creatures. We've got ways to cheat Angler and to play faster with all the fetches. So I think only 2 Pyroblasts is necessary. We do have just a Nihil Spellbomb to interact with graveyards. When you're playing in the 2-man queues, you kind of got to hedge your bets a little bit. And I was just taking a gamble that not many graveyard strategies would be there today. I was expecting a lot of burn, so I brought 3 Feed the Clan to the fight. Hexproof, I brought 2 Serene Hearts, and obviously the 2 Ancient Grudge I talked about. Then just 2 Terminate, just to have more robust removal around. We can kill Angler with this. We can kill Affinity creatures with this. And it's not terrible against aggressive decks, even though it's a little weird to cast it. We do have a lot of red and black mana in the deck. And I already mentioned the other sweeper, so that basically sums everything up. Let's go ahead and get into the battles. Thank you guys very much in advance. Hi folks, and welcome to round 1 here. As you probably can't see anything right now, but we are on the draw. So let's see what we got as far as an opening hand. Not really anything too exciting. We're missing lands, essentially, and there's no guarantee we're going to hit them, even though we are on the draw. You know, if we were going to keep this, we would want at least a 1-drop or, a couple that we could actually play. So let's go ahead and mulligan to 6 cards. And this hand is much better. We'll definitely keep. And we're getting a message from our buddy 8686, but we're going to have to ignore that for now, unfortunately. And I don't think we want to keep this because there's nothing really in our hand we want to ramp into. So I think we'll bottom it. And we'll see how this goes. Playing against a deck with Plains, and there's a War Falcon, so we can already tell that we're going to be facing basically a Soldiers deck or a White Weenie deck that's playing heavy concentration of Knights and Soldiers. So here we have a very interesting decision that we have to make. We can either bolt the War Falcon immediately or bolt the Knight or Soldier that ends up getting played, or we can play the Caves this turn, which opens us up next turn to Duress as well as Bolt. Now there's nothing saying we won't draw an untapped Black Source next turn or another 1-mana burn spell, so I think I'm just going to leave up the Mountain, and I'm going to see what he plays in order to enable the War Falcon, and then we can decide if we want to kill the War Falcon itself or kill the thing that he enabled. And it's looking like we're going to want to kill the War Falcon. And we basically just hope that he doesn't have a protection spell. It doesn't look like he will, because he's about to play something else. Yeah, so we'll just bolt the War Falcon in response here. And I'm experiencing a little bit of lag. I hope that's not being felt by you guys either, or as well, rather. So now we're actually a little bit behind here. I think we are getting a green source, unless we're hoping to draw into Evankar's Justice, which at this point we probably are hoping to do that. And especially because we're under a significant amount of pressure right off the jump here. And we're going to be taking damage from our Knight's Whisper. I think we're probably going to have to get a green source because we do have the Pulse of Marasa, whereas there's no guarantee we're going to have the Justice. And the Pulse can get us back that evolving. Oh, there is the Justice. Woo, this game has just gotten a lot better for us. So I'm just going to go ahead and get a black source and cast Knight's Whisper. This game got much better for us. He is going to have some ways to replenish his board, but mostly by the clue stones. Oh man, this got so good for us just immediately. We are kind of low on life, but thank goodness for board sweepers, huh? I mean, we would have no chance in this game otherwise, and this is just the guaranteed play we need to make. So that took out 4 creatures. That's fantastic. And I think between Pulse, if we can get it fired, and Chainer's Edict and stuff. Okay, so he actually chose to cantrip second, which I don't think he should have done. Do I Edict and do I Razor and Edict, or do I Duress? The Duress is probably not hitting. I think I draw the card first so I have the most information about what I want to take with Duress. It's just another Pulse of Marasa. There's a chance that we double Duress too. I mean, he's probably got a Journey to Nowhere up in his hand, so it's not insane, but we do get to take that. He's got 2. Yeah, so we'll just take them both. And the Duresses aren't going to be very live, so those Duresses weren't going to get better. In fact, we're lucky that they hit anything at all. So between hitting the Justice and having 2 Duresses that worked, we're pretty happy. We're gonna block to feed Pulse of Marasa and make Chainer's Edict better. And all we really need to make this game just swing massively in our favor, I believe, is a green source now. I mean, it of course depends. Oh, okay. Well, now I mean things aren't wonderful for us. Let's go ahead and draw 2. Yeah, we are actually dead here. So I don't think I want to show him Chainer's Edict. I think we'll just concede. And I'm sorry this is taking up the whole screen. I don't know why that is. I'm sure I could figure a way to minimize it, but we're going to concede. I do think we have a decent chance in this matchup, but we were just on the losing end of things. We were on the draw, and we mulliganed, and so we were already off to kind of a slow start, or on the back foot rather. Okay, so I'm cutting things that attack his hand because he's going to want to dump his hand very quickly. I'm going to bring in things that control the board. So as you're going to see here, Terminates, Magma Spray, obviously going to be pretty potent against a loyal Cathar. And then maybe we bring in 1 Ancient Grudge to hit the rest of the stuff. I mean, it's not going to be that live. We don't know if he's playing Razor Golem. He's probably not playing Razor Golem. But is 1 Ancient Grudge better than 1 Augur? Augur's a little better. Yeah, I think we'll keep the Augur around. We also have Feed the Clan. That doesn't seem very good. Feed the Clan is specifically for burn. I mean, gaining 5 life against White Weenie is basically just fogging 1 attack, if that. And gaining 10 when we already have an Angler out is just win more. So I think we'll leave it like that. I think we will leave in all the card draw. We have to beat them in the attrition battle as well. And we'll definitely keep this hand. This hand looks alright. So we'll do so. Looks like I need to plug in my computer, which I was not aware of. So I'll go ahead and do that first. And now we're set to go. Okay. So this will be a nice curve out for us. I'm not saying we will just naturally win off of this, but I think if we do get to game 3, that will be the trick. We have a lot of cheap interaction for their deck, though. Ooh, Prot Black. So I think I'm going to do the more mana efficient thing here, which is play Rager. We will take hits, and the Rager's going to harm us, but I think I just want to see more of my deck at the moment. Okay. So obviously this is going to get through. Oh, he's got two of them. Okay, well Justice doesn't really do much here. So I guess we're just getting revenge on the guy that hurt us. And we're going to wait. Next turn we have Gurmag Angler, so... But, he's going to have Journey to Nowheres. Oh, he also has Sunlance. Okay, so we're taking a lot of lumps. Okay, we're going to just have to fire off the Evankar's Justice here just to get the 2-for-1, I believe. Yeah, I don't think it's worth waiting. If he plays another Armorer, then we're SOL, so... We'll just do this for now. We may actually get run over again here. I'm not completely convinced that we will, but at the moment, things aren't panning out very well for us. Even with these Evankar's Justices hitting. Okay, that's fairly good for us. I'm not going to play it right away. I don't think he actually knows about the... And I'm going to represent like a bolt or something. So even though we have the Angler, he's got two creatures that can get past it. And he's getting all this mana. I mean, we'll only need to find a red removal spell to deal with that order, but... Oh, he didn't pump up. So he's got something really good to play. Yep, that's what I feared. Okay, so we have a little bit of time here, not a ton. This will pop us back up to 14. We'll see what we can do from there. Yep. Yep. So there's only one more Evankar's Justice in my deck. That's not great. I don't think he knows about the green, so this should come as a surprise. So I think I actually play the Swamp in hopes of drawing a red removal spell. Okay, Chainer's Edict not so great here. We're basically like almost dead to rights. I don't know that he needed to draw the card. Okay. So we're taking 4, 6, 8. Yep, not good. We might just be donezo here. What can Knight's Whisper do for us? Ostensibly it could hit Evankar's and a red removal spell. We'd be at 3. I think we're still dead there. I'm trying to figure out, do I need to crack this first, or can I not afford to do that? What could I draw to stay alive? Another Pulse? Takes me up to 11. I think I have to draw another Pulse. So I guess I'll thin a land from my deck to do that. We have the highest chance of drawing a mountain of all those lands, so now we'll Whisper. Unearth is now 3, 5, 7. Just about dead for us. We could Edict, and we could Flame Slash the Order and Edict him. He'll sack the Armorer. And we're still dead. So I think I still have to hit Pulse, and I think 9 9 life is still not enough. Didn't hit pulse. So I guess we edict him and hope that he sacks something I can't block. Basically anything but Armorer. I think he'll be smart enough to figure that out. It still won't matter. So we just have to hope he basically misses his attack step. Oh, he sacked the Squadron Hawk. Interesting. I guess we'll do that. I'll attack here. And hope he just doesn't know what he's doing. But I'm sure he does. We'll say GG's. We'll try and fix the window while we... Oh, there it goes. It works. Yeah, very strange. We got steamrolled basically both games despite everything we had going in terms of board control. So not a very good sign off the bat here, getting 2-0'd, but we'll come back and hope that we can put up a better performance here. All right, guys, thank you for watching. Hey guys, so I'm going to have to apologize in advance because as you may have noticed, there's a trend going on with some of our videos, so we end up having to do these replays every once in a while. The recording is not foolproof, I guess, 100% of the time. So for this round, we're going to have to do a replay, but from what I remember, it's pretty quick and relatively painless. So we end up actually playing the same opponent again. I saw that he was in the queue, and I wanted to get a little bit more data in terms of how this deck performs, and specifically in that one matchup. We lost the matchup. I thought it was going to be good for us. So why not run it again to really see what's going on here? Is this actually a bad matchup, or are there some more variables at play? So we keep the 7-card hand. As you can see, we're going to lead with a tapped land. Probably get a red source. He's going to lead likely with pressure. And it's Elite Vanguard. So we have a decision to make here. I think, get a mountain, obviously. And then we can either go Augur or we can go Edict. I don't remember what I do. Edict gets worse the longer we leave it down there. So I can see an argument being made for either. We end up playing the Edict. So the Augur's not going to come down for a while. The other thing is that he's got a lot of cards in hand. So the Augur's more likely to hit just some useless planes first and foremost. So here we're kind of behind, we're kind of flooded. We go with the Phyrexian Rager in the face of his Cathar. He plays a Soul Warden and he has the Journey, so he's able to crash through. Now we're really flooded and we only have Augur of Skulls to work with. He's got the Journey for that too. We just are losing so much tempo here. We have to find Evankar's Justice or we're just completely out of it. We go with the Forest, and we take a bunch of damage here. And what do you know? We find Evankar's Justice. We basically have to play it there. As you can see, he is going to get the Cathar back, but we killed, I believe, 4 creatures with that. We were really far behind on tempo, and that gave us just a little glimmer of hope here. He draws a card with Inspector. He has another Inspector. He's going to be able to draw again. We're going to sack, get whatever we have the most basics of. It's going a little too fast for my liking. We do find Gurmag Angler, and we play it. I'm going to end up saving the Mortuary Mire till we can use it, so I play Bloodfell Caves. He has a pro-black Order of Leaper main deck, so that's obviously going to be a huge problem if we don't find red removal. We don't have anything going on. We've been flooded pretty much the whole game. He gets to attack for free, and he's got Squadron Hawks, so he's replenished the entire board that we had blown away with the Evankar's Justice. You notice that we did leave our Chainer's Edict there in the graveyard. We end up sacking the Augur of Skulls because we have Mortuary Mire and because we're going to need a way to deal with the Hawks. If we have any chance of winning the game, that's going to be it. And I decided to use the Pulse of Marasa right now so that I at least have a blocker here and that we don't somehow get killed by Crazy Pump. You'll notice we're not playing Mortuary Mire. He's got another Loyal Cathar, so our Chainer's Edict will just never possibly be good. He attacks with the guys that can't be blocked. He pumps the Order of Leaper. This game is looking real bad. So we just use the Chainer's Edict while we can. He actually sacks Thraben Inspector when he... it's not a terrible decision, but he could have sacked the Loyal Cathar if he wanted to. We make some blocks. He's pumping away, and we lose our auger. We're at 5. We untap, and we basically have to find another Pulse of Marasa. We don't. We play the Prism. We have a Bolt. So now we're just hoping he doesn't attack. We kill the Order before he can find a protection spell. This actually keeps us alive at 1. So we're doing everything we can here. And we need another Pulse of Marasa, and it's not there. So now we're actually hoping that he doesn't attack. I guess we're alive one more turn here. My mistake. The Pristine Talisman is what's keeping us alive. Sorry for the poor commentary. At this point, we're still alive at 1 because we have the Bolt. We're able to kill a Hawk. Now his attacks are pretty bad in the air. He is holding back cards, but anything now is basically just a land. So now we have stabilized a little bit, and this is really the critical thing here. So, okay, gotta stop. We're most likely that he has lands, right? We have this Pristine Talisman, and as long as he doesn't find something crazy, we can talisman our way back up to stable life. What I chose to do there was play the Night's Whisper and go down to 1. I did not consider any repercussions of that. I really should have tanked on this play. This is not a play that you say, hey, I'm at 3 life, I'll just Night's Whisper down to 1 and see what happens. Which is what I did. I play a Duress and see that he's just got lands like we anticipated, and he draws a removal spell off the top, which forces me to regenerate my guy, taps my guy, and now he can attack for exactly lethal damage, and I lose. So I really should have waited on that Night's Whisper. I think whether I should have or shouldn't have, the fact that I cast it did cost us the game here. We looked like we might have been getting stable on a very close, very tight game where we were at 1 life for a ton of time. We had to face main deck Order of Leaper, and we paid for it. We played fast and loose with the life total. I just decided to cast a Night's Whisper, and that's how it went down. Okay, we sideboarded the same way I did in round 1, so that shouldn't be too perplexing for you guys. We're going to mulligan this hand, and we're going to keep this hand. So I think we're going to... I don't know what we do with that, because that means not sacking the fetch land turn 1. So let's see what I did. I topped it, so it looks like I'm not going to sack the fetch. Okay, there you go. So he actually doesn't have a turn 1 attack, or turn 1 attacker, which is good for us. I'm just going to use up my Chainer's Edict here while I can. He's got the Veteran Armorer. We're going to speed things along here. We do have Pulse, but instead I'll go with the Rager. He offers up Veteran Armorer, so I block it. Now he's going to bounce back, land, replay it. We're very close to Justice, but as you can see, his board is like very good against Justice right now. So, and he's got more flyers. As you can see, we're really having a problem with these flyers. So now we're actually getting more red in case we need it. I play Pulse of Marasa to buy myself some time. Justice was, not a play I could make. Or Angler doesn't really stop anything on this board. We already had a 2/2 to stop that, but he killed it. So now, we're just in a horrible position. He just gets so much power against us. So I know this is going a little fast. I decided to Pulse of Marasa and terminate so that there was no way he could kill me next turn with like pumping or any type of equipment. I wanted to play a little more safe, and I'm still trying to work my way up with mana, and I do find double removal spell to stay alive. Maybe. Yeah, I think I'm alive here. So I bolt that, and I bolt that, and I go to 1. He plays another Hawk, and I think I'm just dead to rights there. Double Pulse of Marasa did not, barely slowed him down at all. So I go for the attack. I just hope that he can't do anything, or maybe I would just play the Avantgarde Justice to suicide, and that's the end of the game. Just everything he had lined up so well against us. We're playing 1 Magma Spray. We would want to play something like 4. We would want to play something that gets in the way of Skyfisher. We would want to play, I don't even know. we're going to talk about this a lot more at the end of round 3 because this whole the whole infrastructure of this deck is going to be discussed. So stay tuned for that. We do have one more round to play, and then there is going to be like a wrap up where I talk about the aspects of this deck that are lacking and the ones that might be working or might not, what can be better. But as you can see, we just got steamrolled both games. I mean, he was slightly pre-boarded against us, but he also just was able to force through. I mean, we wrathed or had the capability of wrathing just about every time, and it didn't matter. We had the capability of casting pulse or multiples each game, and it still didn't matter. I mean, we'll get into it. We'll talk about it. We'll talk. Welcome, one and all, to round number 3. We won the die roll. We're going to play first. We're still playing this red-black control deck, splashing green. That's not doing very well. Let's go ahead and keep this hand. And we'll play one of our fetch lands here and try and get an idea what the opponent is playing. Oh, another plains deck. Wow. Just by circumstance, it happens to be white weenie all over again. So I'm going to get a red source. I'm not sure if I'm flame slashing, but there's a chance I will be, just because Aggro Skulls here needs a target, and we're filling up our graveyard for Angler. So I guess I might as well flame slash. I wouldn't play Augur, that would be a terrible play. I could play Knight's Whisper. 6/5, I go back up to 7 cards. I think I'm going to flame slash this. And I'm going to Evolving Wilds. Now, what do I get with the Evolving Wilds? Do I get a green source? Do I get another black? Do I get another red? I'm not sure. Wow, this is crazy. This is basically the same deck we've played against. And I don't know what I want to get with this. I have a lot of black spells in my hand, so I guess I'll get a swamp. And here, I actually think I'm going to run the Augur. If the Augur gets journeyed, we actually have an opportunity then to play Gurmag Angler, and hopefully he's out of journeys at that point. If not, we get to take 2 cards, so I kind of like that. We'll get a green source this time. Yep, I'll take the 2 damage. So, we've seen already that we're not very good against this deck. I mean, we have tools against it, but they're resilient enough to just fight past those tools. Oh, he doesn't have the journey. But he does have 2 Loyal Cathars, kind of a problem. If he doesn't have the journey, it's a good sign for us, because it gives us that Gurmag Angler pretty much with carte blanche. And yeah, I'll go ahead and sack. We're going to get 2 of his 3 cards here. Hopefully that's good. Now I can Knight's Whisper and Angler, and I might also be able to find a red removal spell. Well, we got 2 Thraben Inspectors. Okay. Which is 2 future cards for him. So yeah, I'll Whisper right now, even though we're kind of low. And we'll play Gurmag Angler, and we also have this Lightning Bolt. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So, I mean, we're doing okay. He's still got a board presence against us. It's pretty good. And if I use the bolt prematurely, we could be missing out on hitting a flyer. So there's a chance I may want to wait on the damage. Okay, he does have Squadron Hawk. So now we're really hoping to find Evan cards, like always. Yeah, he just has a lot of card advantage that for some reason we're not able to beat down. We're not able to burn that card advantage out. Wow, did he not search? That's going to be a problem. Whoa, Oh, he failed to search. That's really the only reason, if we do win this game. That's really the only reason why. Yeah, something went wrong there. Something went really wrong. What the? Yep. I mean, I don't know what to say. That's really unfortunate. I actually, if I find, I guess I'm not going to really be able to get another angler next turn. I'll go ahead and bolt one of the Loyal Cathars if he suicides in. It's weird just to send the 2. Okay, I'll go ahead and bolt the other one. Save ourselves some time. Again, we're also filling up our yard for the next angler, so definitely buying ourselves some time. Don't take any damage. Now he's just stuck with a bunch of X1s. So if we do find another auger, we'll have a nice blocker. Oh. Okay, so now we actually can make another angler. And hopefully that's good enough. So we can do it either way. I'm actually going to do it for 5 mana. And the reason why is I want to save this in case we draw a Pulse of Marasa. And I want to have a target for that pulse. So the angler's going to clear out our graveyard. I don't want to just throw the fetch land and then exile it, because then I have no fuel for Pulse of Marasa. So, yep, didn't know he had Sunlance. Now we know. I mean, okay. So I'll still take a block here. Wow, didn't even attack with Squadron Hawk? What the heck's going on? I mean, you can at least attack where it's free. He's just really frustrated now. I mean, he's in a much better position than he actually thinks. In spite of the mistake, you got to keep trying to play to win. So now I get to just Wrath him if I want. I think I need to wait though. If I can get 7 mana, then we're in a much better position. And he's given us enough time with the 2 misplays that we actually can afford to wait, I believe. And if we draw Pulse, we even have more time here. So we fetched before we drew, just to, I don't even think I want to use this Chainer's Edict. Actually, I think I do. Because depending on what happens, if let's say we don't draw the 7th land and it's untapped or whatever, we may just be wanting to cast the Justice as is. So I got to kill as many of these guys as possible while I can. And it'll be even better if he attacks me with that Doom Traveler. I can get the block in. I'll take 6, but it might be worth it. The juice might be worth the squeeze. And let's see what he's doing. He's just doing that. Okay. Well, I can't block. Play a guy that does Justice. Alright. So we're basically casting this with or without the land, I think. Ooh, now we can actually wait 1 turn. So if he draws Journey to Nowhere, I'm taking 6, 8, 9, going to 6. Then I cast Justice, go to 4. He's got just the Spirit token left. Alright, I'm going to wait 1 more turn. So I can cast it with buyback, and I think I actually lock him out of the game at that point. I mean, honestly, he was in a pretty strong position from my estimation, and now that I have buyback, I just don't see any way that, unless he starts just chaining Core Skyfishers, that would be something. Okay, so I'm gonna go. I don't think it matters who I block here. I'll block one. Again, if he starts chaining Skyfishers, I don't want him to be able to get back these Loyal Cathars, so let's see what he plays.
It's another Sunlance, which is still okay for us. Yeah, because yeah, we're just gonna cast this. We're going to 8, and then we're going to 7, and then we should be okay. I mean, this is gonna take our life total down, but it's also gonna just wrath his board every single time. And once we find Pulse of Marasa, I'm pretty happy with our position also. Yep. So that's good for us. I mean, things could still get dicey. That's how crazy this matchup looks. Is that he could play Core Skyfisher here, and we're in legitimate trouble. Ooh, Mortuary Mire. So I think I do have to Wrath, and I think I will Mire back my Angler. His last card is a 4-drop or a removal spell. I don't know which. And we have the Chainer's Edict if he plays a bigger guy, so we're pretty set. I think I'll just play this and try and start winning the game as quickly as I can. Again, leaving the land in the graveyard for that Pulse of Marasa, so. Bone Splitter resolves. No other creatures. So let's get the attack in first. I suppose I'll go to 3. Again, we do have the Justice and we have the Edict for a creature, so I think we can go that low. As you notice, this deck has to kind of play a little fast and loose with its own life total. And he's probably extremely mad. I really need these Hawks now. Yeah, you do. That would be a way to... I mean, he's stuck in the past. How are you going to beat me now if you're still focus all of your energy on 6 turns ago? I mean, it's just not productive in any way. But enough of my ranting. Hawks actually would be good for him because it would force me to Evankar's Justice repeatedly. He doesn't seem to really have anything at this point. So we're putting him on 1 turn here. I mean, I guess if he has Raise the Alarm, we're out of here, but that's about it. We don't have enough to Justice twice, plus that would force a draw anyway. So he has no outs at this point. Yeah, I think Hawks would actually won him the game. Okay, well, I have multiple ways to deal with that. I'm just going to use the Chainer's Edict. I don't really want to show him anything else in my hand, and that should be good enough to get there. If not, we still have the Flame Slash, and we still have Evankar's Justice. So, okay, we win. We shouldn't have won. Well, I'm not sure. I don't think we should have won. We're going to try our same boarding, but now we're up a game, so that definitely counts for something. We want the Magma Spray. It's going to be pretty crucial against those Loyal Cathars and Doomed Travelers. We want the Terminates, and then I think I was leaving in either 1 Augur. I think I was leaving in 1 Augur as opposed to an Ancient Grudge. Feed the Clan, I'm not too sold on. We need to affect the board. Did we see any artifact creatures? No. So I guess we'll use Augur. I think it's just going to block more things and impact his hand in a more significant way on average than the Ancient Grudge will affect his board of Bone Splitters or whatever. So we'll try this. Again, we've been losing these matchups, but this guy's already kind of tilting, so that could cause him to make further misplays in the future. And that might just help us out. So, we'll have to see if that's the case. or not. And yeah, I'm actually kind of surprised to see this deck so often in the two-man queues. I haven't seen it at all in the two-mans for months and months and months. And to see it with two back-to-back players, one of whom we've already played against twice in a row, we might actually get a win this time. But I do want to discuss, after the match is over, whether we win or lose. I'd like to discuss some of the things I'm noticing about the deck that I think could play a role in us potentially either improving the deck or discarding it for better versions of this kind of strategy. And this is a hand we can certainly keep. I'm liking how it looks. So regardless of what the opponent does, we will keep this hand. We're going to be a little bit behind because he's going to start with a turn 1 aggressor, and then we're going to start with a fetch land. So we're already going to be a little bit behind, but that's about all we can do at the moment. So Loyal Cathar likely coming down. Okay, a couple 1-drops, even worse for us. Okay, so I think this Terminate's going to get pointed at War Falcon. And we're going to do it at instant speed in case he pulls out like a Bone Splitter or something. Things might change if we draw something else. I mean, this deck seems like it could benefit from Electrickery as well. As you see, I mean, he scoops to Electrickery here. I mean, he doesn't scoop to it, but... yeah, so Bone Splitter's probably going on a different creature anyway. So, but had I played the Terminate main phase, there's a pretty decent chance that he might make a different play and add more to the board instead of going with Bone Splitter. Now, I mean, this is actually kind of a risky play against Electrickery mana anyway, but now he actually has, you know, some fewer... oh my gosh. Mana Tithe wrecking us. This is so bad. So now I cast Chainer's Edict and he just gets Doom Traveler. I guess I play Phyrexian Rager. Wow, we got Mana Tithed into Oblivion. Okay, this game is not looking good at all. We're getting wrecked. We're getting ultra wrecked. But we do get Talisman into 2-drop. Okay, I'm blocking the Traveler. My hope is that we're finding Evankar's Justice and he doesn't have another Mana Tithe. That's basically what we're playing to right now. So it is a pity that we only have 2 Evankar's Justice in the deck, I believe. We could certainly use more. Okay, we're not winning the game, I don't think. I mean, if we draw Justice right now, and then we can Chainer's Edict next turn, and he kind of whiffs, then I guess we're not losing. But anything short of that is going to be very hard to... okay, this is not so bad. So I guess here we actually need to Flame Slash and Chainer's Edict this turn. And then we'll see what happens after that. Oh, he's got to sack the Spirit. Because if he sacks the Javelineer, his Falcon ostensibly cannot attack. So that's one more flyer down. We're going to 3. Oh, he sacked the Spirit. So I guess he has a Soldier in hand. But if he doesn't, we're only taking 3. Which is not the worst. Okay, he didn't. He gambled. And it didn't pan out too great for him. So what are the last 2 cards? He's got a Squadron Hawk? No. Okay, so I think we need to... I think I want a Talisman and Night's Whisper, which puts me to 6. And then it gives me a chance to find a 1-mana removal spell. I guess I don't have to Talisman if I don't want to, but we're also looking bad against Mana Tithe. We're also looking bad if he finds a soldier, so we're really going for it here. And not getting there, so we're basically dead here. Yep. Yep. Alright, he got us. So that line was probably wrong. I mean, that seemed a little too risky, so probably not the best idea to probably not the best idea to just put yourself dead to certain things if you can avoid it. The Knight's Whisper is really wrecking our life total. Okay, so, and you know what else wrecked us? I'm not going to change anything. The Mana Tithe. I mean, that just comes out of nowhere. We're already behind on tempo. He goes one drop, one drop, one drop. So now we know not to play on his turn like that. Okay, we're going to at least get to play first. That is a plus. And we can keep this hand, so let's do it. And I think we might caves before the fetch land. Okay, and we have Justice in hand, so thinking Justice will be served here. Okay, another War Falcon. I'm going to caves again. And hopefully he doesn't play something that's good against Chainer's Edict. Oh, that's pretty good against Chainer's Edict. But we're also looking pretty good against I mean, we're also looking good with our Evan cards if he doesn't have something for it. Okay, so now I either Edict him or Whisper. Whisper almost guarantees me a land drop for Justice. But I think we have to at least slow him down a little bit and plan to draw more removal later. So we'll go ahead and Edict now. He's probably got more soldiers, so I guess Thraben Inspector's going. This could be just not correct. I'm not sure. Yeah, Thraben Inspector's gone. I didn't need to do any of that fetching, but probably giving too much away. Okay, just play one more thing. Don't leave up Mana Tithe, you bastard. So now I have to play around Mana Tithe like a chump. That's really sad, unless he plays a 2-drop. Okay, so now we just need to hit. Oh, we didn't hit. I almost would rather Whisper, but I'll get in the way of his blocker, of his attacker. Jeez, man. Nothing just lines up for us. It's kind of clunky situation. Are we getting Sunlanced? Okay, I'm definitely blocking that. And it makes our Justice better if he just plays... if he just taps out. Play a Javelineer and equip something. Okay. Well, that's going to help him refill. And we basically have to Justice to stay alive. And, yeah, all of his stuff is flying now. Knight's Whisper cuts down our own clock. So we basically have to hit that untapped land. Or maybe hit another removal spell. That wouldn't be too bad. Actually, his Falcons cannot attack at the moment. And if he messes up his search, that would also be kind of cool, but he didn't. We're actually going to play this because we need to kill some of his guys. And while he's tapped out, I'm going to shoot a War Falcon. I'm basically assuming that he can make a soldier, so if he can't, it's better for us, but I mean, the situation's so weird that we've been missing all these land drops, and so we've been using the stuff that we should be saving after Justice. We have to use it before Justice, so it's making everything really awkward for us. And fortunately, he missed his attack. I think we have to do this and hope to draw basically the untapped land. So I'm very glad he missed his attack. We don't have a lot of time to survive here. I mean, even drawing Magma Spray would be cool, but yeah, he's tilting again. But he's still beating us. I mean, I'll just let you guys see whatever he has to say. Yeah. So we're doing this preemptively. We got 2 Hawks out of the deal. And what did we draw? Well, I guess we're raging. That means we're going to 10, then he's attacking us down to 4. Do I have to Knight's Whisper and find a removal spell? Because we're going to Justice down to 2. I'm going to play the Rager. He didn't Sunlance the Augur there, so I imagine he does not have the Sunlance. And basically, as you can see, the only chance we ever have of beating this deck is when they misplay a bunch. He could have Mana Tithe also and just have never been in the position to play it. But we could draw an untapped land and play around it too. But, ooh. Do it. There it is. So that's the last Hawk. Okay, so we go to 2. And the game kind of continues. We basically have no choice but to cast this. He didn't... I don't know. He didn't... Any threat he has is lethal. He didn't... yeah, any threat he has is lethal. Shoot. And that's a good one. That's a humdinger. So... I guess, well, I could Caves and then Whisper. That's probably my best shot at not being dead. Talisman and Caves only puts me to 4. So I think I go to 1 and hopefully have something. I have nothing, so I guess I'll just draw and hope he skips his attack. And we're probably dead here. Yep, so this matchup is just really bad. We won 1 game across, 6 possible. And we're basically 1-5 in games, 0-3 in matches against this deck. That's not a popular deck at all. I mean, that's a 1%er in terms of 5-0 decks. But more importantly, let's talk about our deck. Okay, so it didn't perform very well in that matchup. And overall, it didn't perform nearly as well as I was expecting it to. And there's going to be a few reasons for this. Now, this deck is following the tradition of several kind of black X decks. These are like non-blue control mid-range style decks that intend to drag the game out and win attrition battles. We clearly have not been winning attrition battles. The problem with this version of this archetype, this general grind them into dust, play a long game, and outvalue them, one of the principal problems that I'm noticing here is that it's very creature light. So we've got the 3 Augurs, we've got the Phyrexian Ragers, and the Anglers, and that's it. Now think of other decks of this lineage. Mono Black Control. Mono Black Control is very much a creature dense strategy. Its whole bread and butter is building the devotion, playing disruptive creatures, chittering rats, witches, whatever 2-drop you want to play. You also can play crypt rats, you can play specter, you can play gray merchant, you can play a lot of different creatures, Okiba Gang Shinobi. And that permanent base allows you to have more flexibility overall. So not only are the creatures disrupting their game plan, you're also extending the utility of your own game plan. So you have a lot of defensive utility. Aggro Skulls, a lot of the time I really just want to sack this guy and get cards out of their hand. He's really not that defensive until you get later in the game where you actually have 2 mana sitting around. So not a great defensive utility. Phyrexian Rager already hits our life total and trades with everything. So, very limited defensive utility. Having a lot of creatures like in Mono Black Control, or even other control decks I've played like Orzhov and Mardu, those are 2 control decks that I talk about a lot in my Black Border articles and videos, and I do very well with them, to my surprise, really. Those decks play a ton of creatures. They play Core Skyfishers and Thraben Inspectors, and it's just constantly putting something on the board. And a card like Core Skyfisher has so much combat utility because it's a flyer with a 3 toughness back end that lets you switch roles between pecking away for points of damage and defending in the air, which kind of segues me to the next problem with this deck. Very, very soft to evasion. We have these removal spells, but I can only draw so many of them in a game. Chainer's Edict, historically very poor against flyers, because decks that are flyer dense have a lot of fodder creatures like Spirit Tokens or Fairy Miscreants or random 1/1 Squadron Hawks that happily get sacrificed to Chainer's Edict. We have nothing that serves as a roadblock for the air. You notice how Delver plays Spire Golem, and control decks play Mulldrifter, and mid-range decks play Core Skyfisher. Those decks that really survive and thrive have roadblocks for evasive flying creatures. We have none of that, and we keep getting stomped we keep getting curb stomped basically by flying creatures. So that's another big problem with this deck. Just a massive oversight on my part. Those are actually the 2 main issues. And going back to the creature problem, the build of this deck is basically relying on the premise that our spells are going to be powerful enough to basically bring us into the late game. This is a huge fallacy because we're not playing blue. Blue is the color that can rely on its spells in order to compete with the permanents and the creatures from all the other colors. We're not playing blue. We can't counter anything that they try to do. We can't draw a ton of cards with no downside. So we end up playing these dinky card drawers that are pinging away at our life total every step of the way while we're already behind in the tempo race. So I think that's a huge problem too. We can't rely on non-creature spells to make this deck come together. We have to be playing creatures, and because a creature is in a lot of ways worth a draw too, because it's doing things that multiple spells would be able to do for you. It's virtually gaining you life as a blocker. It's virtually damaging the opponent as an attacker. It's virtually buying you time as a fog effect, and often disrupting the opponent like a Mind Rot or a Raven's Crime would do. So I think this deck, if we're going to try it again at any point, is going to need to be completely retooled. It needs to be much more creature dense and not so focused on trying to match our spells with their permanents. We've seen what results when we try that. 3 matches in a row, just completely not able to keep up. We're behind from the first turn, and we never pull out of that deficit. The deficit either remains a constant or it compounds and increases. All right, guys. Well, that's going to wrap it up. I just wanted to at least reflect on some of the things we saw today, so it's not just another instance of, oh, well, we're getting crushed in two-man queues. I guess we'll just try something else and keep the wheels spinning. I wanted to make this at least informative in some way so that you realize no matter what outcome you get, you can always go back and assess and see what was working and what wasn't working. Now, some parts of this deck were working. The Evankar's Justice seemed potent, but if not a little too slow and a little too detrimental to our own life total. A card like Electrickery would have been phenomenal in a number of those games. So that's something to think about as well. But that's just a minor point. I just want to emphasize the larger point of post-event analysis and how effective it can be. I'd like to thank you very much for tuning in to this installment of... That's right, Dime a Dozen.